Hello. Now, this cup of water is basically what a human should digest, okay? So now, this amount is an appropriate amount of having a vitamin A. Having this much will actually help your supplements and give you enough nutrients to go for the whole day. However, if you have this much, you're jeopardizing your entire body. This will cause harm to your stomach and many other side effects that are much worse than it benefits you.
Today, we will be talking about the chemistry behind hypervitaminosis A. Hypervitaminosis A is just the formal way of enunciating overdosage of vitamin A, or vitamin A toxicity, which is considered to be a metabolic disorder caused by chronic excessive dietary vitamin A uptake over several months or years.
Oh, I've heard about that one before too. I'm sure you're all very curious to learn more about this as it is something we consume very often. Or at least you should be. But that's beside the point. Just for some background information on it, its chemical formula is C20H30O. Average mass is 286.452 grams per mole. Type is a double bond stereo hydrocarbon, and regardless its synthesis, vitamin A is also produced from fish liver oil. In chemistry, it is made from synthesis by beta ionon.
Vitamin A is soluble in fat and eventually gets stored in the liver rather than being eliminated very promptly in the form of retinol esters, which basically only have the job of storing retinol. More so, vitamin A can be demolished upon exposure to heat, light, or air. Through its function and vision, it is converted into retinaldehyde, which is a part of a light-sensitive pigment called rhodospin, or visual purple, which is present in the retina of the eye as well. After the intake of vitamin A, retinol esters are hydrolyzed, or in other words, broken down by chemical reaction with water to produce all trans retinol that binds to retinol binding protein before being released in the bloodstream. The all trans retinol complex circulates bound to a protein called transthyretin, which delivers all trans retinol to the peripheral tissues. Nonetheless, unregulated delivery of retinoids to biologic membranes apparently can end up leading to vitamin A toxicity as well.
Moving on, we found this very helpful definition on a website named National Library of Medicine. Very informative. It asserted that retinoids, as compounds that are sparingly soluble in body fluids, need specialized proteins to transport them. They contain 4 isoprene units, which essentially is just a branched chain unsaturated hydrocarbon with a head to tail structure. They are natural, biologically active forms of vitamin A. Well, there are 3 active forms of vitamin A in the body comprising retinol, retinol, and retinoic acid. These are essentially the potential ingredients that can be component of what your prescription consists of for your consumption of vitamin A. The majority believe that retinol is more effective than retinol because retinol is 11 times faster in its conversion to retinoic acid, as it already is a step farther in the entire process. On the other hand, retinol first gets transformed into retinol and then from retinol to retinoic acid, which is what the skin is actually able to utilize. Through this conversion of retinol, two-step oxidation takes place in the target organ cells.
Upon their entrance into the cell, retinol dehydrogenase or alcohol dehydrogenase catalyze the oxidation of retinol to retinal. This reaction can be reversed by the same enzyme. Subsequently, retinol is oxidized to retinoic acid by retinaldehyde dehydrogenase. This reaction is irreversible. The product formed is a natural ligand of nuclear receptors and it reflects the activity of vitamin A.
Oh, and about their structures now. Retinoids can actually be divided into 3 generations according to their molecular structures and properties, but we will only focus on first generation since the other generations are a bit too complex for us with words like cyclohexene ring, benzene ring, analogous of vitamin A, and more that we do not have time for today anyways. The first generation comprises natural retinoids, which are monoaromatic compounds including modified polar groups at the end and side chain of the proline vitamin A that do not act selectively. Now, you may be wondering, why is this important to keep in mind? Why should you acknowledge and know about the whole thing about vitamin A overdose? Well, God forbid, but if you discern something like overdosage of vitamin A taking place, then you will know that it is bad. Just imagine, employment decreases with symptoms evidently being perceived from blood tests and physical examinations. Adverse acute effects such as nausea, headaches, drowsiness, and even plausible risk for seizures can be clearly notified, affecting one's position in their job. Severe adverse effects such as high intakes of preformed vitamin A in pregnant women can also cause birth defects in their babies, which would of course slowly end up affecting our economy and society overall.
Potentially, we do promote vitamin A, but not vitamin A toxicity. That's it for today, everybody. It's like when parents don't stop beating their children, even though your body's full of pain. Sorry, parents. We hope you learned a lot from Dashingly Smart by Daniel Kim and Simran, the DS. Until next time, folks.